Serbia already today as we look at the Brazilian side. Alisson is in goal, Wagner, Thiago Silva, Miranda and Marcelo at the back four, Paulinho, Casemiro, Coutinho on the midfield three with Willian, Jesus and Neymar up front. A real opportunity here, Serbia with Stojkovic, Kanijavia, Mitrovic, Tadic, Kolarov, Velkovic, Milinovic, Kostic, Sergej, Matic and Ljajic. And Mitrovic, 15 goals in the last 18 starts for Serbia. There's the referee. Well, of course, bring you who that might be in a second. It's Brazilian, those famous yellow shirts to get us underway. The Samba Boys, of course. And of course, this is really hotting up this group, of course. This really will be... well, we had the VAR in operation earlier on again today. Can Brazil avoid all this nonsense now and get through to the next round? Germany fell by the wayside, of course. And Brazil in those old yellow shirts get us on the way, attacking the goal to our left. But what a game it promises to be in terms of the leadership of the group, and also Brazil are right up against it now. We get an early throw on the near side. Header won back again by the Serbian defence. And the ball back to Alisson, who plays his club football course for Roma. He's part in that never to be forgotten win over Barcelona, of course, in the Champions League quarter-finals. Number 15, Milinkovic, getting that one out. Another ball forward by Silva. Then the ball flicked back once again. It's a cracking atmosphere inside the ground here tonight. Milan Krestijevic is the coach of Serbia. First time I've actually had the chance to cover the Brazilians in tournament play this World Cup. Should be an absolute cracking atmosphere for this game, of course. The Brazilians always bring their Samba player to the seasons, of course. Tomorrow night it's England's turn as they look to book top spot in their group, and Harry Kane is insisting on playing, of course, as Neymar runs through the centre. A chance early here for Brazil, and the chance inside the area. Neymar with the shot, it was blocked. Serbia appealing for offside there, which has been given. Well, what an opportunity that could have been there. Neymar was involved there, of course. Just offside as he came in there. Now, it's Casemiro, of course. Jesus, where's number 9? Benini already on with the jokes. Neymar with the Germans. And well, the Brazilians could fall by the wayside here tonight. I said so many teams could bite the dust, and certainly Brazil could be one of them here. Kolarov has penalised his man. Free kick to Brazil in a handy position for them. Well, just whilst we've got a break in play, well, the Germany side, well, they got what they deserved in the end, I'm afraid. You can't tell me that they don't deserve to stay in it, because they don't. But a really good opportunity here for Brazil to try and get through, of course. And of course Switzerland and Costa Rica playing in there. Again, we'll keep you up to date with news from that game later, because that could have significant consequences, of course. Both teams fighting for their existence in the World Cup here today. It'll be a shame for the tournament's point of view, as we see an opportunity there for Brazil that just flashes wide. I've got to say, there's quite an atmosphere inside the ground. Brazil always make it so. Along their way is number 22. The referee, incidentally, just to bring you up to date, we'll just bring you the referee whilst you're missing nothing, by the way, for this game so far, but 0-0 in the other game. The referee, in actual fact, comes from Iran, and his name is Fagani. And of course, the video assistant referee is Irati from Italy. So the Italians are in charge of the VAR, and the two assistants come from Iran as well. So could be a tough one. Marafo Jair of the US is, of course, the fourth official for this game. So we'll keep you up to date with all the permutations as we go along. We've played nearly 5 minutes here. You've missed absolutely nothing so far. As we see, number 19, William tangle with Kolarov on the far side in a free kick, in fact, to Serbia. And Absolute Anonymous is on tonight, says, lessons to all potential winners, treat every opponent as equal, as the Germans found out today. South Korea maybe have been eliminated before the final game, but my goodness, they played really well, I believe. And Germany have only themselves to blame. They didn't put up a particularly good defence, if I remember, in the first game I covered against Mexico, and they deserved to lose. And here comes Serbia now, trying to come forward again, and their number 10 there, Tanic, was making a terrific run, the Southampton man, and almost found a little bit of a weakness inside that Brazilian defence. But it's good to see some of the lesser likes of world football really make a great fist of it against these so-called big powers of England, of the world. Of course, France and Argentina somehow snuck through. France haven't played particularly champagne football on their way to the knockout rounds, but they've had the 3 wins. They've had 2 wins and a draw to get them through, and they play Argentina on Saturday. This is Tadic now on the near side. Tadic, good ball in there again. Chance here for Kubanka to get across in. And again, good blanket Brazilian defence. Tadic plays it again in from the right hand side. The flick on again. And the Brazilians early on here trying to do some really stout defending here. And Mitrovic has been penalised by the Iranian referee, Figani. And he's having a win in the way say here, Mitrovic. Of course, he played his part with Fulham towards the back end of the season on loan as they won the Championship playoffs. In a bit of a feisty battle, of course, if you may remember, against Aston Villa at Wembley some 4 weeks ago now. As part of our double header that night, Chris Whiteman was there on the commentary gantry that night, and he's going to be on the gantry for you tomorrow night as England play their final group game. And of course, that's a big game, and Chris Whiteman will be your man in the com box for that one. 7.5 minutes gone here, 0-0. Brazilians are loving every minute of it, mind. Just to remind you of the colours, Serbia are in all red with a white stripe all around the sleeves of the shirt. And Brazil, need I remind you, in yellow shirts and blue shorts. And it's a very, very hot night tonight, of course. 9 o'clock local time. It must have been about the low 20 degrees. At least over 40% humidity. Referee from Iran having a word with Marcelo. And it is quite hot down there on the field. Injuries and drinks breaks, when we get breaks in play there. And it looks as if Marcelo is really struggling there. Marcelo could be out the game. And number 6 is about to come on here for... Well, if that's the case, then Marcelo, it looks like he's going off. Number 6 is ready to come on there for Brazil. So Marcelo's game is only going to last about 8 3/4 minutes. Maybe just less than 10 minutes actually. But let's see now as Brazil come charging forward. The Samba beat now trying to do all the talking there. And a good little run there through the centre. And it will come out to the far side. And it will be kept in by Coutinho. Coutinho now. Wants a Liverpool now with Barcelona. Coutinho dancing towards the far side now. My goodness, it's a hot night now. I'm sweating like you wouldn't believe. Brazil still have it on the far side with Willian. And in the end, Willian was forced to put it out of play. So, already a change made by Brazil. Marcelo has pulled up lame and can't continue, and number 6 will come on, and that is Philip Luis. With 10 minutes gone. So Philip Luis, number 6, is on the field and gets his push touch straight away, midway inside his own half. And his second touch is around about the same area, although just to the left-hand side of the centre circle. Brazil, in fact, attacking the goal to our left and going from left to right. 10 minutes gone here, and it's 0-0. And the long ball forward, and that's going to be Stokovic's ball there. Jesus wears 9. Neymar, of course, wears the number 10 jersey. And of course, there's no score as I'm hearing from the other game. As soon as we find out a goal in the other game involving Switzerland and Costa Rica, we will bring it to you live. We'll bring you all the updates live as we get them. 0-0 here in Moscow. Here comes Neymar now on the left-hand side. Neymar Jr., who's yet to really explode at this World Cup as far. Neymar now playing in infield. Coutinho takes over. We've seen one of the mighty fall today. Could we see another one fall here this afternoon or this evening, Robert? This is Kolarov. I agree with your point made before, JB. The so-called smaller nations have certainly closed the gap on the big guns. That's certainly true, absolutely honest. This has not been a tournament for the faint-hearted, and the Germans were vulnerable. We saw, as we found out in the first game that I covered with Germany in the first game against Mexico, they just lacked a clinical finisher, and Miroslav Klose, if you like, to finish the job off. And I mean, no disservice to Timo Werner, but they are very big shoes to fill as sad-looking Marcelo walks away. His World Cup could well be over, but it'll have to be, well, we'll have to wait and see as Serbia come forward, and Alisson with an unconvincing punch, but he punched it away nonetheless. And the Roma goalkeeper took almost matters into his own hands, because that was a vicious sort of free kick from the left-hand side there by Serbia. Rukievia with the throw. Rukievia trying to get it back from Liajic. And the ball back to Stojkovic. Nil. And of course, we'll have our 15-minute break. Remember, Chris Whiteman's live tomorrow night with England against Belgium for the big one in that one. And then, of course, we have a day's break. And Chris will be back on your airwaves again on Saturday with the most outstanding match of the last 16 on the Saturday. And then I'll be back with all the Sunday games. And of course, we'll have the conclusion of the last 16, the quarters, the semis. And of course, Chris will do the playoff third place match. And of course, I will be in situ for the final, which of course takes place in just over 2 weeks' time now. There's still plenty of football to be played from now until then. July the 15th, in fact, is the day of when the tournament just come to a close, and it will be a sad day because we've really enjoyed the year long of football. We hear our coverage of the season that started at Villa Park way back in August, some 10 months ago, will come to a close in Moscow. Come at the end as the shot was half put there from Kolarov, and the ball deflects behind. Despite the best attempts of Alisson to get there. Terrific hit by Kolarov, and it just deflected away. Kongo up himself to take the corner. 14 minutes gone. Here comes the Serbian captain with the corner from the far side. Header one inside the penalty area. Mitrovic was in there. So too was Tadic. So too was Kostic. Kongo up again on the far side. Still 0-0 here. Remember the winners. Will certainly will have a certain place in the last 16. As for the losers, it all depends on what happens elsewhere. Here comes Tadic now for Serbia. And on the number 21, Matic. Excuse me for blowing my nose as the cross comes in towards Mitrovic. Mitrovic trying to turn. Can't dig it out. Mitrovic has gone down there. Hopefully nothing serious for Mitrovic. He did look as if he was clutching one of his ankles. This is Neymar now down the left-hand side for Brazil. They've really got to get their A game on here. This is Willian, the Chelsea man. Willian down the right. Good turn of pace, but the cross was lacking any real conviction, and it's out of play for a goal kick. And well, I think Panini's well, this is the opportunity here for Mitrovic. He's riding out. Well, he got caught there. Number 3 here, Miranda went to kick the ball away. The Brazilian captain kicked it away, all right, but then the follow through hit Mitrovic right down in the nether regions. There was no great appeals, by the way, by any of the Serbian players, incidentally. Purely an accidental being there with Miranda. Apologies for blowing my nose because I've got a touch of hay fever at the moment, and with the temperatures the way they are now, it's very, very stuffy. No breeze coming through. No. It's Kolarov on the far side as Serbia look to try and shake the world just like South Korea did today. Remember, Mexico and Sweden went through in that group. Sweden winning 2-0 against Mexico in the current game. At the moment, we have no details of the other game in the group, but as soon as we get any news from that one, we will bring it to you straight away. Chris Whiteman will have the big one tomorrow night, England against Belgium. Another day's break, and then it's back to the grind of the last 16, quarter-finals, semis, third place and the final. And we'll have something like an 8-day break before the season begins again, when the Clarets Match Live will be coming. Our first one of the new season will be coming. As ball trying to break forward for number 9, Jesus, the Manchester City player, or number 15, Robert Paulinho. But it's too close to the goalkeeper, Stukovic. And I don't know what Panini is talking about there, but he's certainly not referring to this game that's taking place now. Remember, Brazil forced into an early change after 10 minutes when Philip Luiz had to replace the stricken Marcelo. The Iranian referee has given a free kick here to Brazil. Sergei with the infringement. I do apologise, this nose is really runny at the moment, but we'll try and get that fixed. It's very difficult really for me to convey it when I've got hay fever. It's a very difficult time of the year. But at the moment, when 18.5 minutes gone, still 0-0 here in Moscow. And it's a really decent result. Mexico 0, Sweden 3. I think that's how it's finished. I think Panini's trying to tell me. I know it was 2-0 the last time I saw it, because we got all hooked on the I was in the office at work, and actually I got hooked on the South Korea commentary, Germany commentary. South Korea winning there was 10 minutes of stoppage time, incidentally, in that game as well. And of course, there was a goal that was originally disallowed. Then the referee turned to VAR, and then VAR they looked at it and then said goal. And so, I tell you what, there was a huge cheer going up in the office this afternoon. Corner kick to Brazil, taken short by Willian. 0-0 here in Moscow. I'm going to have a look at the footage at half time as the little chip comes in there, and a chance here at the back stick, maybe for Brazil, but again hooked away. Serbia really defending stoutly and not looking at all worried about the threat here from the Brazilians as Tadic comes away again, or rather Kolarov comes away again, plays it to Rukavinia. Rukavinia now keeping possession rather well. Tadic wears 10, by the way. Here's the number 21, Matic. And Matic in there again. The Nemanja Matic of Manchester United, formerly of Chelsea, of course. 0-0 here. 0-0 in the other game concurrently. As Sparandin almost taking matters into his own hands there, booted it away. Leads it to his defensive colleague Thiago Silva to get it forward. And the ball back with the Serbian goalkeeper at the other end. It's a hot day out there, wherever you are in the world at the moment, certainly in Europe. Here in the UK it's very, very hot and sticky. The reports back home in Saddleworth Moor that there's a big, massive moor fire, and well, let's hope the people affected down there don't suffer too much, and we hope that fire gets put out over in Oldham. As that cross comes in, it's cut behind for a corner to Serbia. Conceded by number 22, Wagner. And then number 22 here, Lialic, will take the corner. What an opportunity for him to really test this Brazilian back line, which is not the best as we come up towards the halfway mark, and as he swings this corner in from the left hand side, and Matic was up with the back post. Alisson got a flick on it. Comes to Rukavinia, now Matic again. Or rather Tadic. Tadic now doing well, and Rukavinia is there too, so too is Tadic. Back to Rukavinia, first time cross needed. Got in a little nick on the way through, but Serbia keep a possession really well, but then hooked away. I do beg your pardon. It is really difficult when you struggle with hay fever and the tablets have worn off after a little while. But it's still 0-0 here. Serbia 0, Brazil 0. And Brazil, as you'd expect, 54% possession. Serbia have 46, so it's actually quite closer than we might have anticipated at the start of the match. So far it's 0-0 as Neymar tries to play one round the corner on the left hand side. Now Philip Luis takes over, now finds Coutinho. Coutinho now halfway inside the Serbian half, but again well won again by the number 22. Lialic, and Tadic was on his way again. Mitrovic was further forward. Back with Alisson, now Thiago Silva. 0-0 here with 22.5 minutes gone. This is a real tough examination for Brazil, who look to come forward down the left hand side. Philip Luis, and he's got Neymar Jr. who's just dropped back a little deeper than when they were expected him to be. But there's still enough in reserve further forward other than Neymar Jr. 23 minutes gone in the World Cup. Serbia 0, Brazil 0. Well, we're going to trust Benitez's instincts on this one. Serbia always score. Well, we'll just have to see. Of course, Serbia were involved in one of the more controversial games of the tournament so far, when they were beaten controversially by the Swiss. And that could be so crucial to their chances of finishing in the top two and qualifying for the second round. Neymar gets a throw in 5 or 10 yards inside the Serbian half on the left hand side, and so far it's not been a classic so far. Both teams really are Both teams are just a little bit tentative, as you would in these occasions. I'm sure it will be the same in the other game. We've only had the one goal draw so far. We didn't actually cover it, funnily enough, but it was France against France yesterday, and they drew 0-0 with Denmark. A result that saw France through to the last 16 as well. This is Neymar through the centre. Neymar now to a chance here for Gabriel Jesus, and Neymar's in there. Neymar shoots and hits the post. It's the far post, and that's the best chance we've seen in the game so far. And it was Neymar's left-footed close-range effort. I'm not sure if the goalkeeper got a hand on this. Played a lovely one too with Gabriel Jesus. Gets a little bit fortunate there, and in fact, it didn't hit the post as I initially thought. It was a great save by Stokovic, so I've got to give Stokovic the credit there. I did him a little bit of disservice. Neymar gets a little bit lucky there. There's his left-footed shot, and Stokovic takes out a big left hand and turns it away. I have to say, it did look from the first angle as I saw it from. It did look as if it cannoned back off the post. There's an injury down to one of the Brazilians. They've already lost a man. They don't want to lose another one. And it's Gabriel Jesus. He's a big player for them. Well, the Brazilian coaches down there on the touchline. They can't afford another injury. As we see the incident again. He just stands on his feet there. Nothing sinister about it, but that's a great save by the Serbian goalkeeper. You've got to say that, but Neymar should score there. And if he can't continue, then Brazil might be forced into a second change with only 26 minutes gone. And it looks as if he may not take any further part in this game. His boot is off. He's going to try and put it back on again. Sergin, the number 20, who inadvertently caused the initial injury. I say inadvertently because I don't think he knew much about it personally. But it's 0-0. It's not been a classic, but you have to say Serbia have been a real. It's been a real good blanket defence so far from the Serbians. Thus far in this match so far. There's Miranda deep inside his own half of Brazil. So one of the bookies' favourites to win the tournament. We saw one of the bookies' favourites drop out, of course, earlier today. France are through. Argentina, hooker by crook, are through. Thanks to a bit of magic and a goal late on from Rucchio to send them through. As Brazil now come charging forward, and that ball does not find Neymar from Coutinho. Coutinho played a brilliant ball with the outside of his foot, but played it with a bit too much strength on there. As we look at one or two of the dignitaries up there in the stand. And they take a look at Neymar Jr. there, who hasn't really stepped up to the plate in the spa in the tournament. He has had one or two horror moments, of course. Should have been sent off, of course, but in an earlier game. But you know what FIFA are like. They need all the best players to come in the World Cup. That's why they are. It's such a dodgy sort of ground, really, when you look at it logically. Well, we all thought Argentina were heading out after that second group match. But as we saw last night, a bit of genius from Messi, but they needed a late goal to get them through, and it was really, really disappointing, really. My goodness, no, it is really stifling hot at the moment. But 0-0 is still a good watch, and I think it will be an enjoyable game. I think when the second half gets going, I think we'll see a lot more goal action. Neymar with the best chance of the game, coming after 25 minutes. And onside he is, and look at this now, a real chance now for Jesus. Can he pull the trigger? Turns back inside Jesus and shoots. And a terrific tackle there at the last second by one of the Serbian defenders. Jesus should have really shot early. The flag had stayed down and he timed his run well here. And from that on in, I thought he was going to shoot. Good little feint there, and then the defender got back. And here is Coutinho. And now Neymar on the left-hand side. 2, 3, 4, 5 waiting in the Brazilian yellow. Here's Coutinho, and then the ball chipped in by number 2, Thiago Silva, and behind for a goal kick. Doesn't cause any real trouble there. But Serbia so far, very good blanket defence. It might not be pretty, but Serbia are doing their job as they need to effectively. 0-0 here in Moscow. Brazil haven't clicked into top gear as yet, or they haven't even clicked into second gear, let alone top gear. As the kick from Stukovic comes flying forward again up towards Tadic that time. Ball out of play. It is a Serb throw. Going to the Serbs. 30 minutes gone then. Half an hour exactly played. Serbia 0, Brazil 0. And how they could get Mitrovic into the game, he hasn't really got into it as yet. The big Newcastle striker played his stride at Fulham, scored plenty of goals as Fulham got into those playoffs. And went on a 23-match unbeaten run before being beaten by Birmingham on the last day of the season. But they held their nerve to first beat Derby over 2 legs and then beat Aston Villa at Wembley. I know football really didn't win on the day at Wembley. Oof! That was a really high foot there. And the referee's going to have to take strong action against Thiago Silva because that was dangerously high on Mitrovic. About 15 yards inside the Brazil half. And it was a high foot, and I think the referee should be taking strong action here, getting Thiago into the book. Okay, he gets the ball, but he's kicked the head of Mitrovic. He felt that. I'm not sure if he's booked him or not. If he hasn't, I'll be very amazed. I think he hasn't, you know. But Serbia have a free kick made away inside their own half. There's been a goal in the game between Switzerland and Costa Rica, and we'll come to that in a second or two. But now this is interesting because what's happened now, Switzerland, with that goal lead, have gone to the top of the group as things stand on 7 points. Brazil are second with 5, and Neymar's injured on the near side. It is a free kick to Brazil, I think. The trainer's been called straight away. Neymar's feeling his ankle there, but there has been a goal for Switzerland. I'm not sure who scored it, by the way, as we're keeping tabs on this match at the moment. But there's a nice little friendly cooperative spirit. Now, this is what's happening in the game here. 0-0. The ball played in from the right-hand side. And the ball knocked back, and a real opportunity there, and Switzerland going to lead. It's the number 15 who's got it. I don't know who the goal scorer is, but there has been a goal in that game. So Switzerland 1 up, and Jaric is now booked back here in Moscow for Serbia. So as things stand, Serbia are missing out. So they have to try and come out of defence and try and go at Brazil. I think that would be the general idea here. Brazil are not renowned defensively as a good defensive side. By the way, you're not missing anything much there. That's why I'm blowing my nose. It's Dezamali with the goal in that game. Benini has just told me. Benini keeping me up to date. So as things stand, Switzerland go through with 7 points. Brazil is second with 5, and obviously the Serbs missing out at this moment in time. As Serbia come forward now, a real chance inside the area, and the ball knocked back towards Mitrovic, who tries the overhead kick from something like 10 yards out, and it well sails over the bar now. That would have been a superb goal if he'd managed to do that. Tadic's knocking the ball back from the left, and Mitrovic couldn't control the overhead, and behind for a goal kick to Brazil. Well, that's the first genuine chance that the Serbs have created. And that wasn't a bad chance, really, all things considered. So as things stand, Switzerland will be top with 7 points. Brazil in second, going through with 5 as things stand. Serbia with 4 points, and Costa Rica 0. Here's a chance now for Neymar to just his stuff now on the edge of the area. Still a chance here now. With a little chip forward. It was Jesus chipping it in. And the ball nodded back very calmly. Back to Stukovic by Kolarov, the experienced captain, of course, of Serbia. 34 minutes gone, coming up towards the final 10 minutes was stoppage time in the first half. And a real crucial goal being scored in the other game between Switzerland and, of course, Costa Rica. There's Marley's goal looks like putting the Swiss through unless Brazil can come back with an equaliser. The only way Brazil can finish top is to win. The way they could go out is to lose to Serbia. Now this really is like a cup tie. I mean, the first two games when both sets of group matches were so open, it becomes a different ball game when you come to that third and final game knowing that another team is playing simultaneously. A chance here for the first goal. It's a 9-0 for Brazil, and it's the number 15, Paulinho. A little chip forward, the flag stayed down. He got him out. Stojkovic didn't get there, and Paulinho just nonchalantly with his right foot by the penalty spot knocked it past the advancing keeper, and into the net it went. Brazil take the lead with 10 minutes to go to half time, and how crucial could that prove to be now? As Switzerland now will drop to second place as we stand now in the group. Good ball forward, and it's a terrific cool finish. Paulinho just keeping his head here. Goalkeeper coming out there to narrow the angle, and he just gets it perfectly over the goalkeeper's hands. And into the net it goes to give Brazil the lead. A beautiful, lovely ball over the top. And Paulinho makes it count. Brazil in the lead. 35 minutes gone, and that was a goal of real genius, you've got to say. The Brazilians are a treat to watch, whether he likes them or not. And now Serbia now must come out of their shells, if you like, and try and play a bit of football and really put Brazil on the back foot now, because that's what they've got to try and do for the remainder of this game. The next 55 minutes, the last 10 minutes of this one, and then the other 45 that's going to come up in the second half. Here's Rukavinia playing the ball across the field, and now a chance here for Manic to come forward. They need a big 10 minutes from him now. This is Ljanic running at the defenders. Again, good skills by him. Had to pillar it back. And Ljanic gets it again. Matic is in support as that cross comes in by Ljanic from the left hand side. So Brazil, in fact, will have 7 points. Switzerland have 7, but Brazil have the better goal difference. They have a +3 goal difference to Switzerland's +2. So I got that wrong. And but it's very difficult to get involved in the excitement of it all here. Well, the World Cup really taking shape now. And of course these group matches are always, they're never dull affairs, they're always good affairs. Here come the Brazilians again. They're always a treat to watch. Here it is. Number 11, Coutinho, trying to play the ball forward once again. He was surely fouled there. And the Serbians now just getting a little bit too feisty in the tackle. Coutinho is one of those players that the Lavia marked. Certainly to target, but at the moment, Brazil having got themselves in the front here in Moscow. Serbia have got it all to do now. A win for Serbia would put them through. So it's anyone's guess here, but at the moment Brazil and Switzerland are going through 3 points ahead of Serbia in the table. But it needs 2 goals, and it needs a turnaround here of titanic proportions from Serbia to see them over the line. Earlier today, Germany and South Korea crashed out in their group as Sweden and Mexico topped theirs. And Brazil now, who are top on goal difference, and no foul there. Serbia still have it deep inside the Brazilian half of the field. Getting good football there, and now a chance for Lijanic to find Kolarov. Kolarov needs a good cross in there. Still a chance in there, and they're claiming a corner here, Serbia. They've got it. Came off a defender, and the Brazilians are furious. Philip Moraes is incensed, and Miranda right on the referee's forehead. And I have to say, the referee from Iran had a good sense of humour there, because a much tougher referee might have given a caution card for that. Well, Lijanic now has a chance here for this corner. Can he float this one in? Be a turn up if Serbia were to equalise. But Brazil are not watertight defensively. Coutinho having a word or two with the referee. Coming up there too. There's the corner. Floated in there, and the goalkeeper got a good fist on that. And then, well, a wild effort over the bar this time. And a goal kick. Left-footed one. This is the goal again. Coutinho plays the ball forward. It's Coutinho who with a lovely depth forward. It's just enough pace on it for Paulinho to get there before the goalkeeper Stukovic, and planted into the corner past the advancing goalkeeper from 16-17 yards out. Frustration for Serbia, delight for Brazil. 5 to go to the break. England against Belgium tomorrow night with Chris Whiteman, of course, from 5 to 7, of course, 20 to 7. And of course we'll have that, and then the last 16 of course will be there as well. And of course he'll keep you up to date with the events in the other game, although it is a bit of a dead rubber between Panama and Tunisia. And that is just to finish up, well, the match that we'll be covering in great detail is for the group, top of the group. Tunisia and Panama is for whoever wins that game will finish third. So 5 minutes to go to the break, and it's going to be Lijanic with another corner here. Lijanic floats it into the danger zone, headed away by the Brazilian defence. Brazil are so good, certainly in the finals and tournament play, but they've not won in Europe in the World Cup since 1958 when Pelé inspired them to win. In that one, they won it in 62 in Chile. And they also won it in 1970. By winning the third of the final World Cup that day. And they got to keep that year the Jules Rimet Trophy. They didn't win it again until 94. As we look at one of the great refereeing, one of the best referees in my lifetime and in the business, Piero Luigi Collina, once the dignitaries, the brilliant Italian referee who's refereed so many big games. He's refereed a World Cup final before, of course. He's refereed England. He's refereed some big England games as well, where he's given some good decisions in England's favour, I have to say. But he was one of the more fairer refs I've ever seen, and he stood no nonsense. He was a very good referee and very distinctive for his bold head. Meanwhile, back on the field, Neymar is received to have gone down there, and he's holding his face in agony. I just hope it's not the play acting business that we saw the other day. He got a lot of stick for this. Is Tadic involved? Well, he's pulled his shirt back, but nothing more than that. And then Neymar's just held his face. You see there, he's got a hold of his shoulder and pushed him back, but not viciously where he's rolling around. I think Neymar, that's the trait in the South Americans' makeup, if you like, because talented footballers, a lot of them, and then they just play act for no reason whatsoever. I'd hate to see that in our game. I tell you, this is why they wouldn't last 5 minutes in the English game, because they would get absolutely no sympathy from English referees at all. And it's one of the that's just community from FIFA to keep one or two of the English refs. I thought somebody like Michael Oliver or that magnitude, Anthony Taylor, might have had a look in for the World Cup. 224 passes to 170 Brazil's favour, and accuracy 86% Brazil, 70% Serbia. And that's not a good pass, and that shows why they're second best on the passing statistics and second best on the scoreboard, Serbia, giving the ball away too easily. But then the Brazilians are just as guilty of doing that. And now here comes Serbia now, with the last 2 minutes of the first half, and the first half that's actually, by all intents and purposes, shot by. In fact, Serbia have won a free kick, I think, just 10 yards inside the Brazil half. And what a time it would be for them to to get an equaliser now, and that would really put the Cat well and truly up against the Pigeons, if you like. Here's Matic now. Over to the far side. This is Alex, rather not Kolarov, but he was there on the overlap. Matic again. Matic, good break again from Serbia. Playing the ball in around the area. The Iranian referee, I have to say, has had a decent match so far for Regini. Here's Neymar now coming forward. Can't pick out Willian on the far side. Again, good blanking defence this time by number 15, Miljenkovic. And still 1-0 to Brazil. The goal from Paulinho. Looks like deciding things as we go to the break. Last 30 seconds, incidentally, a normal time as Matic gets a foot in again, deep inside his own half, and looks to get it away. But Brazil defending from the front, not giving Serbia's too much room. Now this is Miljenkovic. Miljenkovic now just looking to get the ball forward as every opportunity, plays a low pass, and that's a good ball now. If Rukabia can keep it in, which he can't, the Iranian official on the near side deciding that was out. And then we're going to have 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. There's not been too much stoppage time, only for the injury to Marcelo early on, which was a real blow for Brazil, but they've got over it, and Philip Luiz has filled in brilliantly as we now played 20 seconds of the 2 minutes so far. So 1 minute and 40 left of the stoppage time, and we can all take a break for 10 minutes or so and calm down and cool down on a really sticky and hot night here in Russia, in Moscow. Or in winter time, the average temperature is about minus 25. And it is quite a warm and humid evening here. As Neymar has possession on the left hand side, he's more or less at walking pace, and he plays it in there to Philip Luiz. Now opportunity to bend one in there for a shot from the left of the penalty area from about 20 yards with his right foot, and he almost bent that into the top corner. I'm not sure if he meant this as a cross or not, but let's have a look at it again. Well, he might have done, you know. It's a good effort. Good play there by the number 6 to set it up in the first place, Philip Luiz, and with his right foot just went for it. It was curling and it was dipping, but not dipping enough. As we're now into the second of the 2 added minutes at the end of the first half, and that Paulinho goal separating it. 3 shots on target for Serbia, 4 to Brazil, 2 on target for Brazil, and 1 has gone and hit the back of the net, and Brazil are on the break here. The deflection cross by William from the right hand side is deflected inside. In fact, it was Paulinho rather making the break. 15 seconds to go in the first half. Serbia have offered a little bit, but as things stand, if England were to win the group, they would actually face potentially Brazil in the quarterfinals. I should stress potentially, as the half-time whistle goes here in Moscow. So plenty of food for Serbia, who have defended well but not offered enough in attack for me. They haven't got Mitrovic into the game. As for Brazil, they show fleeting moments. Neymar's had a couple of sightings, forcing a save from the goalkeeper, but it's a goal coming after 36 minutes for Paulinho that separates the 2 teams here in Moscow. We're going to take a short break for 10 minutes or so. Join us after that break for the full second half, and of course earlier today we'll bring you all the news from the other game between Switzerland and Costa Rica. So join us in 10 minutes from now. Well, welcome back to Moscow, JB Clark YouTube channel. Both teams are back out on the field, as you can see. Well, I can see anyway. And, well, the serves are out. No changes as I can see from either side. And we're all set to go for the second 45 minutes, of course. As things stand, Brazil are going through as group winners, with Switzerland in second place. And we will come out on top here as Serbia get us underway now in the second half. No changes as I can see from either side as we get underway. Serbia attacking the goal to our left, Brazil to the right. Serbia on all red strip with white trim on the sleeves, and Brazil in those famous yellow shirts, white shirt, blue shorts and white stockings. Already the first free kick of the second half has gone the Serbian way. The referee from Iran, Mr. Vigani, gives the free kick. He's done a good job, the referee from Iran. I have to say, I've been very impressed with the way he's handled the situation. He's handled it with terrific calmness and great humour. Stojkovic in goal for Serbia, and then it's a back four of Rukiano, Milivojevic, Kolarov and Milivojevic. And of course there's the midfield, of course, and alongside him Mitrovic, of course. Up front, Brazil, of course, are playing with three up top. And Alisson, Thiago Silva, Miranda, Casemiro, Jesus, Neymar, Felipe Luis on for Marcelo. That was in the 10th minute of the game. Willian and Wagner alongside him at the back. Wagner playing as one of the back four. Gabriel Jesus and Neymar, in fact, as a tandem up top. According to FIFA, or according to the FIFA graphics anyway. But I would assume that it'd be a front three, with Coutinho of course filling in there, but certainly the way it is. And Neymar has pulled up a little bit lame there in the opening period of the second half. We've now almost had 2 minutes. So as things stand at the moment, Brazil will be top with 7 points, with Switzerland also on 7 points. Brazil have a better goal difference, +3 to Switzerland's +2. Serbia will be third with 3 points, and Costa Rica will have no points from their 3 games in the tournament. They're already on the plane home after tonight's fixtures are completed, and we'll be joining Germany on the plane. Of course, earlier today, if you haven't heard, they've hilariously crashed out to South Korea 2-0, but they're only themselves to blame for going out. And maybe Joachim Löw's job now certainly is in the balance, and maybe the Germans may well have to look for a new coach. I would suggest that Joachim Löw should be out of a job. He's done well with them, but showing his time as Germany's manager, he's at a crossroads now, surely. As the foul is committed by a couple of Serbians on the halfway line, just to the left of the centre circle. I think it's Matic who's fouled his man. Manchester United against Manchester City. Matic on Jesus. And he just didn't get the ball there, Matic. He was close to getting there, went for the ball, but got the man. Free kick to Brazil. And in fact, Matic now will miss the game because he was walking a disciplinary tightrope. So if Serbia were to get through and to turn it around, and then he wouldn't be available for the last 16. But as things stand, it would be purely academic anyway, because Serbia would, as things stand, are on the way out, along with the Germans and the South Koreans today. South Korea were already out after 2 games, but have pulled off one of the shocks of the tournament by making the Germans really suffer today. And a game I'm going to watch back with great interest later tonight on catch up, as we've got the break on here from Kolarov. Kolarov's ball in, it comes to Lijanic. Can Serbia find those 2 goals? Brazil might. If Brazil were to lose this match, remember, they would finish third and they'd be on the plane home. What a chance of, what a couple of unexpected early bats we could have here. We had Germany today, and we could have Brazil tonight if they were to cave in and score, let 2 goals in. That's what Serbia need right now if they're going to go through. And I was listening to Ian Wright with great interest on television during the break, and the tactic has to be pile as many long and high crosses into the penalty area, because Alisson, the goalkeeper, Alisson Becker, could be a real weakness on crosses. So and the Brazilian goalkeepers don't tend to do well on crosses, as history would dictate, although Taparel and Dida would probably tell you otherwise. Well, Dida at his peak was one of the world's best goalkeepers, although in his later years he did decline quite significantly. But Brazilian goalkeepers do have that wicket in them, so Brazil have to be wary of that, and they don't like high balls in the penalty area. That's what Serbia, I think, have to do in the second half. Not play pretty football, but they have to come out and really test the goalkeeper Becker, I think, in the second half. Otherwise it's curtains for them. Now then, Jovic has lost the ball this time, but he wins it back a second time, illegally according to the referee, although I think he's playing on. Referee, if it is an advantage, it's a decent one to play. Keep the game flowing. I like to see a good referee do that. That was good, sensible refereeing. I like the way the Iranian referee sticking to his principles and not being told what to do by any FIFA red tape. The last time England finished better than Germany in the World Cup was 1966. Well, there's plenty of omens for England as England will be to a world before they play Belgium, of course, tomorrow evening. Of course, a game you can hear live on the JB Kite YouTube channel, and Chris Whiteman will be your man in the com box for that one. Tomorrow evening kick-off, of course, at 7 o'clock in the evening. That's a cross comes in from the right from Willian and hooked away by the number 15 there, Milienkovic. It's a good wicked little low cross here from Willian down the right hand side. Whips it in right footed. A little deflection there, but Milienkovic did really well. This is Willian now in field. Back to Philip Luiz, and that's out of play. A real tired looking ball there from Luiz. It was a poor ball and out for a throw into Serbia. No trouble with their own penalty area, and they have to get on with it quickly as they ought to, but the Brazilian defence was quite sturdy there, although Serbians made it a little bit easy for them by being too obvious in their passing. Now Philip Luiz now for the Brazilians. 1 up now. A second goal would surely kill off any hopes for the Serbians, who are some really good side. Aliens One has joined us tonight. Go Brazil. They haven't been at their Venture's Samba best, but certainly in the early rounds they tend to be like that. But here's a chance now for Lijanic now. Lijanic making a great break towards the edge of the area. Chance inside the area and the ball back behind Lijanic. And in the end, Brazil had enough yellow shirts back there to stop the Serbians going any further. There was a poor ball back to Lijanic, I think, by Tadic. They do have quality in that Serbian side, although Tadic has had a disappointing season with Southampton in the league, where they just about stayed up. We covered them against Everton, and they played really well for 89 minutes before conceding a controversial late equaliser in that game. I remember covering it at Goodison Park at the back end of the season. It was a very hot afternoon, I recall, in Merseyside, as Milienkovic plays the ball out towards the far side again. As they come charging forward now, Sergej playing the ball out towards Kolarov. And what can Kolarov, the captain, do here? He needs something from their captain now, you'd have thought. Right, Matic keeps that going. A little chip in there. Needs to be testing the goalkeeper, really. It's not far enough close. It's not close enough to the goalkeeper to really test him. He tends to go for it. Serbia, I think, is his team. Panini says my team always qualify for the World Cup. I'm not sure if they're going to qualify on this. They need 2 goals in the remaining 36 minutes that remain here. Can they pull off a real shot there? Absolutely go for it. The shot comes in, deflected away. Still, Serbia have possession though. I know a high ball in there might put that under real threat. In fact, it's gone out off a Serbian, and it's a throw in to Brazil. Number 20, it came off there. Sergej. Really, it's has to take a little bit of praise for his jinky running to infield, right through the centre. Possession, very close, 10% in it, 45% Serbia, 55% to Brazil, so only 10% in it, but at the moment just one goal in it between these two sides. But Serbia must score twice to qualify for the last 16 of this tournament, and they know they need to. One is not enough, they need to score twice. But a draw for Brazil and a win for Switzerland would see the Swiss qualify as group winners. But Serbia must score twice without reply from the Brazilians in order to qualify for the last 16 and actually send Brazil back on their plane to Rio. Brazil losing semi-finalists 4 years ago when they were beaten 7-1 by Germany. Wouldn't it be an irony if both Brazil and Germany actually fell at this same stage and the same day? Of all the ironies. And here's Lialic. They're playing with some real purpose here now, as they have to now. And the cross comes in from Lialic. Oh, that was a dangerous looking ball, and Alisson was nowhere near it, and it needed the defender Miranda to get it over the crossbar, because that was a wicked ball in by Lialic. Really was. And now Kolarov to take the corner. This is better from Serbia. Can they get an equaliser now? Costa Rica, I think, have equalised in the game against Switzerland. So as things stand, the door is ajar slightly for Serbia here. But here comes Brazil now on the break, and this could be trouble. This could be trouble. It's Neymar through the centre. Neymar now lets it rip with the left foot, and it's a good save at the near post by Stojkovic, and Serbia were caught wide open then, and Stojkovic keeping the ball out. No doubt about it, onside it was. Brazil were in here for number 2. They fought. The feet of Stojkovic stopped it from being so. So I believe it's 1-1 in the other game. We'll get confirmation of that just a second. That's what Panini has seen. He is watching both games, incidentally, on his television screen, as Guanieva takes one there for the team as he blocks the corner with his face. And he'll face up to another corner again now for Brazil, which Neymar will take into the area, flicked on towards the far post, and nodded away for another corner. Number 15 again involved, Miljankovic. He's had a good game, I have to say, the big number 15. He's done really well. But Brazil forcing a flurry of corners here as we go into the 57th, and we've had almost 57 and a half minutes gone here in Moscow. Serbia 0, Brazil 1. A second Brazil goal will certainly kill their chances as that cross comes in now, headed away by the Serbs, and then the ball headed back in with great interest. And now a chance now for the Serbians to get the ball forward. The ball's out of play for a throw halfway inside the Brazilian half. Now this is what's happened here. Costa Rica had a corner, the ball floated in, and it was a free header into the back of the net. So Switzerland have been packed back, and I'm sure Panini will well, if I can get the goal scorer confirmed, Panini, that would be superb. But there's confirmation that it's now 1-1 in that game. So as it stands, Brazil will go through as outright group winners with 7 points. Switzerland will still qualify with 5, Serbia with 3, and Costa Rica with a solitary point. But here come the Serbs now looking for an equaliser. They still have to win, mind you, by 2-1 in order to qualify. And the ball too close this time to Alisson Becker, but the idea was there by Rocky. Yeah, it's going to be a real battle royal. So just to reiterate, Brazil will be top with 7 points, Switzerland 2 points further back with 5, and then 2 points further back would be Serbia as things stand. Costa Rica would have 1 point as we go towards a minute shy of the hour mark now in Moscow. And this World Cup has really lived up to all expectations in drama, attention and controversy. The VAR has been in operation once again, and sometimes Sometimes these things can be very, very well as well. It's always dramatic now, but here comes William now on the edge of the area. Still a chance here for the little chip forward. The flag surely must be up there against Jesus. Surely it had to be up there, but I think the referee are letting it go because the goalkeeper's got possession. We're now coming up towards an hour mark here, and Serbia have got just over half an hour now to save themselves, and off comes Alisson Becker. Mitrovic was clean through then for just a millisecond. The goalkeeper did well. So we're playing now exactly just 5 seconds over it. And it's still 1-0 to Brazil, but it's a slender lead, and it gives Serbia a little bit of encouragement as Rafinha now comes forward for the Serbs. Plays it into Tadic. Tadic turning well. Rafinha with a decent cross. The goalkeeper lost it, and then the header goal was by Mitrovic, was kicked off the line. I think Miranda blocked it, and this should have been the equaliser. The goalkeeper here, poor from him, not one of the world's best, and in fact Thiago Silva got the block in, and the ball fell very kindly there to goalkeeper Alisson Becker, whose mistake it was initially. It was a poor attempt at a punch, and Serbia should and could have been level. It remains 1-0 to Brazil. Here come the Serbs now looking for this equaliser. My goodness, it's going to be a frantic end to this. It's going to be a frantic end to this group, whatever happens. Brazil are going through as winners as we stand, and there's Matic, and he looks as if he pushed somebody there. The Brazilians made a meal of it, but it's play on, and it's the Serbs now going forward, and Matic was there, and Matic, remember, is on a yellow card, don't forget. Kolarov round the back. And now Kolarov again, and Kostic now on the near side. Kostic with a decent cross, turned away again. And there was certainly seemed to be a blatant shove in the build-up there by Matic, who has a tendency to lose his temper in the pressure cooker situations. As Tadic turns that ball back in again, and Alisson was not too convincing there. And Brazil are right up against it now here in Moscow. My word, what a second half, and Serbia really playing with a real purpose and are playing with fight and determination. Here comes Kolarov, the captain, and that's a good ball, held up well, and a chance here for Tadic. Ball back, Mitrovic is in there, still might drop for Mitrovic, and Brazil getting it away. But here come the Serbs once again. Kolarov, this is great football by them. Tadic is onside inside the area. Ball back now, chance here for the shot, and it's wide from Sergei. And that was a glorious opportunity for Serbia. There's so many chances then, so many wonderful breaks. This is the cross from Tadic that caught Alisson on the hop. He went to punch it, and he flapped at it. Now then he had nowhere near his pace. That was play acting. Gabriel Jesus has absolutely made a meal of it. I'm not sure if certainly Matic pushed him over, but not to the extent where he was holding his face. Well, the Brazilians, I'm afraid, are winning no friends with this play acting. They play great football, there's no doubt about that. They play with some terrific purpose, but I'm afraid that bit of play acting there from Gabriel Jesus, it's just ridiculous in the extreme. 6 shots to 5 in Serbia's favour, but they have not scored from any of them. Brazil scored 1 out of their 5 shots that they've had so far. Still 1-0 to Brazil, but it's a very narrow lead, and it's a charmed lead at the moment. The insurance policy of the second goal must try and come now from the Brazilians as they look to try and finish the job off and qualify, well, I say comfortably, certainly for the quarterfinals here. The last 16. Well, they could, as things stand, be playing the Mexicans, and what a game that promises to be a South American derby, if you like. And I tell you what, Mexico are not a bad side either. Now then, here come the Serbs, who are playing really handing themselves. They do need a goal, however, to really make things interesting. With 64 minutes gone, They have possession on the far side, and it's the number 2 now, Kabagenka. Can he get a good cross in? He's measured it well. Mitrovic is there, and he's had it straight at Alisson Becker. And Mitrovic getting up above his man, winning the header, but lacking the direction to beat the goalkeeper there. Got above the Fagina, and it should have been the equaliser as a Brazilian gone down there to free kick to Brazil. 25 minutes just over to go. Wow, what a game this is turning into be. And off comes the goal scorer, Paulinho. And on his place comes Fernandinho, number 17. Minutes gone. Fernandinho, Manchester City now onto the field. Number 17, of course. A very hot and sticky evening here in Moscow. 65 minutes gone. We're inside the last 25 minutes here. Put stoppage time. And Paulinho, which has gone off, is the goal scorer after 36 minutes. And here come Brazil looking to score here. But at the moment, it doesn't look as if we're going to have anything of any real. Remember, Serbia have to score twice. And Switzerland have been held 1-1 with Costa Rica, who have actually, by all accounts, according to Mark Pugash on television, have been playing really well. And I missed a few good opportunities, so I've been told. Here's a chance now for Neymar down the left hand side. He's won a corner over on the far side. That's good skill there by the Paris player. Unsettled at the Parc de France at the moment. Was playing as that terrific front three, of course, with Messi and Luis Suarez, and certainly making himself a hero as that cross comes in from Neymar. In fact, the former PSG manager Umar Emre did comment that the most of the players that he managed at PSG were really good, apart from Neymar, who just wanted it for his own gains. Really, I don't like people like that, but he's a terrific talent nonetheless, and he's got to take this corner, and he's taking it well. It's out of the area, and that's the second one. Serbia claiming a foul. Thiago scores. I think the goal's going to stand. It is 2-0. Serbia are absolutely incensed. They think Thiago has found one of the defenders in there, but Brazil go 2 up. And surely now, unless VAR has anything to go by, then Brazil surely now have one foot in the last 16 of the World Cups. And a good draw too against the Mexicans. Good finish, no doubt about that. And there was certainly a little bit of pushing and shoving going on there. Well, certainly looked a foul there. As you see there, I think Miranda fouls Mitrovic, and well, I think the Serbs have a case there. Watch Miranda here, and Mitrovic has a fistful of shirt. I think that's a harsh decision against the Serbs, but there you go. Thiago with a free header, 2-0, but a good corner as well by Neymar. But I have to say, Serbia will feel very hard done by. They were certainly hard done by against the Swiss in the second game, and they'll feel hard done by now. There was a lot of complaints towards the referee, and I'm afraid it's a dubious goal, and it's a controversial goal. Should he have gone to VAR? Well, there'll be a lot of people saying that it should have done. But it's 2-0 to Brazil. And it looks as if now Serbia now need snookers. They need 3 now, and it's a get a throw right by the corner quadrant on the near side, on the left hand side as they're attacking. That looks a foul there. Tackle from behind. Referee playing on, but it's surely got to pull that back. It's 2-0 to Brazil. And here goes Neymar down the far side. The left hand side, Neymar's got he's got Coutinho waiting in the centre. So too is Gabriel Jesus inside the area. Jesus now gets his shot off, deflected, and that will be a Brazilian corner. Wow. So all of a sudden Neymar turning provider, but there have to be question marks in that second Brazilian goal surely. But the referee wasn't interested in the Serbians' claims for VAR. And there's a yellow card here. I don't know why it's been brandished, presumably for dissent against Alex Mitrovic. And if they did get through the Serbs, he would also miss the next game along with Nemanja Manic. But it looks academic at the moment now for the Serbs as they're 2-0 down and crashing out the World Cup here. Controversially as that corner comes in now. Brazil looking to wrap it up with a third one, and there's the shot coming in. Good save from the keeper, and it was Philip Luiz with the left-footed drive, which got Stankovic in direction there. It's a really good save by the goalkeeper, which has kept Serbia in it for the time being at least. Willian has a throw level with the edge of the 6-yard area of Serbia. 2-0. Brazil have not played at their fluent samba best, but they're going through okay, and they're going to have a meeting against the Mexicans in the next round as the ball gets threaded back, and that was an opportunity gone begging, and the referee's going to free kick to Serbia. Luiz, the guilty man. This is his left-footed shot, and it was going through, and it took a wicked bounce, which made it awkward for the goalkeeper. But he made a fine save nonetheless. Now Kolarov on the near side, the left hand side here of Serbia. Tries to cross it in low, it deflects, and it will be a throw in to Serbia. Less than 20 minutes for them to find 3 goals to a sensational comeback here. And here is Luganic, who's probably been their best creative player, but they have played better in the second half as a team, Serbia, but they've just not been enough at the races against the Brazilian side who know how to get results hook or by crook. Serbia will be upset with the second goal perhaps. Could it have been ruled out for a push there? But here come the Brazilians now looking for a way in, but not this time. Good blanket Serbian defending, but here come the Serbs once again. Matic to get it forward. They need 3 goals, which is the footballing equivalent of needing snookers now, certainly against this side. Here's Willian again, plays on 1-2, gets the ball back, Willian. And the Brazilians just playing it at their own pace. The pass accuracy, or shots accuracy, out of the 9 shots, they have an accuracy of over 50%, 56% in actual fact. Then they have scored 2 goals. This is Willian onto the edge of the area now. Jesus of Manchester City throwing the ball forward, but it's straight in the arms of the goalkeeper. 1-1 in the other game, so nothing changes in terms of the group. The goal difference now moves to +4. That would be the only significant change that I could offer you. It's not going to make overall difference to who's finishing first and who's finishing second now. But it's looking like an uphill battle now for Serbia, who are not going to be qualifying at this stage of the tournament. This is where their campaign really does end. But it was always going to be a tough ask with Switzerland there too. And of course the Brazilians, who are such a really good side when they're in attack, and you can't discount them really at your peril. Great first goal, nothing wrong with the goal at all. Second one, was there a foul on Mitrovic in the build up to it? Well, Serbia will argue with that until their dying day, but the history books are going to say 2-0, I'm afraid, to Brazil as things stand, as we come up towards the 75th minute of the game now. Quarter of an hour now, and Brazil will go through the motions. There is going to be a substitution for Serbia, and it's the number 7, I think, that's going to come on, and it's the number 22, Leandic is going to be replaced by number 7. Zivkovic. As we come up towards the last quarter of an hour here in Moscow, 75 minutes almost played exactly now, as we head towards the 76th minute. As Zukovic has made the first touch, and now a low ball in there. So we've had 75 minutes gone, and in that time, 15 minutes that remain, Serbia need to score not once, not twice, but 3 times. Absolutely anonymous comes on and says, obviously as a United fan, never liked Coutinho, but what a beautiful player to watch, catalyst to everything good about Brazil. Certainly true there. He's had a decent game, made 1 goal so far. It's Serbia now desperately will want to throw men forward. They've got under a quarter of an hour now to find 3 goals in that time to knock Switzerland now out of it, because Switzerland are drawing 1-1 with Costa Rica. As things stand, it would be Switzerland not playing Mexico. Brazil will be up against Mexico, I would think, in the next round. We'll confirm all that later. But here comes Neymar now towards the edge of the area. Neymar inside the area, had to turn back. Again, good football again. And he just loves to play the ball across the deck. This is how the Brazilians like to play. Caress the ball deep inside the penalty area, and then 2 Brazilian players tackle each other and still come away with the ball. Well, when your luck's out and you're Serbian, your luck is definitely out. Here's Billy Luiz, and Brazil just keeping the ball very much at arm's length here, as the number 22 comes forward now, Fagina. And here's Fagina again to Willian. Regina making a very good run on the overlap, but still Brazil going to go to the left outside. And Mexico, the way they've been playing in this match in these tournaments so far, you won't put it past the Mexicans to give the Brazilians a really tough examination, just like the Colombians did in the quarterfinals, of course, 4 years ago, when they should have knocked Brazil out. But Brazil have not been at their fluent best in this tournament. I've seen 3 games of them, and I've not commentated on the first 2, but I've certainly commentated on the 3rd game and tonight. And so far I've not really been too impressed with them thus far in the competition. But it's good to see that Brazil playing with a real confidence and a real swagger about them now. They're 2 up and coasting, but performance has been far from convincing as William cuts inside from the right hand side. Still the ball out towards the number 22, Fagninha. Now then, still Brazil going forward, and a speculative shot from about 30 yards out, right footed from number 5, Casemiro, over the top and into the crowd. Mexico 1994 to 2014, never beyond the final 16. And they had some good sides, Mexico. I remember one beating the Republic of Ireland, of course, a couple of goals to 1. 2 goals to 1. It was the game where John Aldridge famously lost his rag when he was about to be substituted. I remember watching that game with great interest, because England weren't in the tournament then. Graham Taylor's side in those days had failed to qualify when the Dutch beat them 2-0, of course, in Rotterdam. Seems a long time ago, but it's still very raw in a lot of Englishmen's minds, although we're not in those bad old days at the moment, touch wood. Remember, England play tomorrow against Belgium, a game you can hear on the GB Car YouTube channel. Here's a chance inside the area for the number 21 Matic, and he couldn't control the shot, and there was half an appeal for a corner, and never going to be given. Good turn, just on the edge of the 6-yard line. He turned round and he turned, pirouetted, got his shot off, and it was, well, shall we say, charged down as off comes number 11, And on in his place comes Augusto. Well, Coutinho's had a marvellous game. Coutinho now played really well, sent up the first. That's not been kept in by Kolarov. And that's really been the story of the match now, with 10 minutes to the second half to go. Well, we had one great surprise early on in the day when Germany were amazingly, sensationally knocked out by Mexico, and Sweden. Sweden winning, I think it was 3-0 in the end in their match against the Mexicans, and of course Germany losing by 2 late goals against South Korea, who go home with their heads very much held high. As Germany crash out along with South Korea. So that's the sensational story of this first round at the World Cup so far. But there's no sensation, I'm afraid, in Moscow, because it's going to the form book and to the favourites of Brazil. They're 2 goals clear here in Moscow, unless they have a real massive breakdown of huge proportions and let 3 in the next sort of 10 minutes or so. The next day, and Switzerland are going through to the knockout stages. Final change for, second change I should say really, for the Serbs. Off comes Kostic, number 17. Right on in his place is number 18, Radonjic. 82 minutes that substitution took place. And it looks as if now Brazil are on their way. Absolutely no notice. Not been updating his World Cup. Got a lot of hard work to do tonight. Well, I'm sure you'll have lots of great fun doing that. It's Willian is onside down the right hand side. Willian now with the cross back. Could it be number 3? And the shot over the top from Neymar. Got underneath it with his right foot and went over the top of the bar, to the huge disappointment of the Brazilian crowd. Although they are in a very joyous mood, they're not too disappointed, of course. They're going with the last 16. The cross got a deflection, and then the shot, he just hit it into the ground, did Neymar, and in the end the bounce took it over the crossbar for a goal kick. And we've played 82.5 minutes here in Moscow. It's been a difficult day for Brazil, but they've managed to do enough to qualify now and get through, as you have to now in these games. It's not all about playing pretty football, it's about I suppose getting the job done and getting through to that next round, and they've done that tonight. You've got to say, you've got to give Brazil their fair dues. In some respects they have shown their qualities for everyone to see, as Kolarov now breaks towards the left of the penalty area, the left of the D I should say. Very tired of the heat as it is at the moment. It is very, very sticky. But as for the JB man of the match, I think we might have a few candidates. I think you have to say Coutinho's going to be one, Paulinho for scoring the goal, another. I have to say Lijanic has had a good game from a Serbian point of view, even though it's going to end in heartbreak for them, but they're going to keep on going. They are a good working like side, and this is Kolarov on the far side. He just doesn't drop for the former Man City man at all tonight. Jogan Silva kisses the badge now, but you see there's a little bit of pushing there. I'm not so sure whether that is a foul now when we looked at it from that. But there you go. Panini says, when I was 12 in 1990, my bedroom was covered by an Italian 90 war charts. Yeah, and I wonder who made those. Absolute Nona says might just put down England as winners and work backwards. Well, we can dream. Well, if they beat Belgium tomorrow night, now I'm not sure how good the new sources are, but there's a lot of speculation that Roberto Martinez may well want to rest a few players for the last 16. And Gareth Southgate has decided to go with Harry Kane tomorrow. Harry Kane at this moment is the top scorer in the competition with 5 goals. Ronaldo's on 4, of course. And there's another guy, I can't think of his name at the moment. He's joint tied with them. It's probably Lukaku, in fact. He might well play tomorrow night, but Harry Kane, if he gets a couple of goals, he will go further ahead in the Golden Boot race. He's upstaging Messi and Ronaldo, and that's not an easy thing to do as Neymar continues towards the edge of the penalty area. Still Neymar now. Tries to get his shot up. Still Neymar now back inside. It's a real chance now for Brazil. Little deflection, and that favoured Neymar inside the area, and that should have been number 3. And Neymar, a predator that he is, he was onside because he gets a deflection there off the number 7 Zukovic. The goalkeeper was back pedaling, but he stuck out a big right hand and got it away. Those are the days. Mirror, the Sun, News of the World, Express and Mail, Safeways, Rumbelows. And that's an old expression. And Coca-Cola, of course. Rumbelows, that's going back a few years. The old television chain. Sadly no longer in existence. Sponsored the League Cup for a couple of years, of course. Known as the Rumbelows Cup for quite some time, as the cross from Kolarov is knocked away. And as far as Tadic knocking it back in there again. No danger there, but away by Thiago Silva, who got the second one, of course. Goal, that is. A chance here again for the Serbs, deep inside the penalty area. Chance for Mitrovic on the turn, charged away. Matic has it now on the edge of the Brazil penalty area and tries to play a 1-2, and the attack breaks down, and that's going to be a free kick and an opportunity now for Brazil to calm it down a little bit, but the referee has not stopped it. I thought it was a free kick to Brazil. 3 minutes to go though. Serbia needing 3 goals and snookers. 2-0 down. Of course, Shoot magazine and Match magazine. Well, I remember the old Shoot ones from a few years ago as the Brazilians 2 up. And there's been a goal in the game between Switzerland and Costa Rica, which is not going to make it too much difference, just to put Switzerland on to 7 points. They're still second, by the way. 2-1, I believe, their lead, and we'll check on the goal scorer in just a second. So Costa Rica cruelly not going to get anything out of the tournament. They finished top of their group, of course, 4 years ago, in grouping role with England and Uruguay, of course, and Uruguay got through in that occasion as the ball is swept out to the far side. Now Neymar, the left of the penalty spot. He still might break for him on the far side. Still Neymar, ball back, and again enough Serbians back in numbers to stop him. It's still Serbia now having to press forward. They're having to roll men forward, but it looks in vain. There's a substitution about to be made for Serbia, but as things stand now, Brazil have 7, Switzerland have 7, but Brazil have a +4 goal difference, Switzerland have a +2 difference. Serbia, no change for them on 3, and Costa Rica, having had a point at one stage, now have no points, of course. And Dremic has scored the winner, I think, in that game, or potentially the winner. This is the goal, worked on the right hand side, good ball in, and there's Dremic to tap it into the net to give Costa Rica a 2 to give Switzerland rather a 2-1 lead. Off comes Mitrovic for Serbia, and on in his place comes the number 19 Jokovic or Jovic. Comes on for the remaining few seconds on the game, and here's a chance now for Serbia to pull one back. And hooked almost off the line, in fact, by Miranda. And well, what a superb performance they put in the second half, but it's not going to be enough for Serbia. But I have to say, Brazil, very Brazil like getting the job done. Not the samba football that they're used to seeing. They grabbed the nickname really for a few years of the Ireland Globetrotters of football, because they learned their trade on the back streets of Sao Paulo, or on the beaches, of course, in Copacabana. As we now played the 90 minutes, we're going to have stoppage time now. We'll find out how long there is to go. As Serbia not giving up just yet as they try to get the crossing. It's the number 2, Kravinga, just the 3 added minutes. So they need 3 goals, need three stoppage time now. As we go forward once again, but Serbia have huffed and puffed, but just haven't been able to get the balls in enough, as Ian Wright was saying, to test Alisson Becker in the goal. But I have to say, Mitrovic missed a goal-test chance at 1-1, and that goes in. It's a different ball game, but Brazil in complete control now on the break, and this is Jesus, and the ball just behind, in fact, but it will break for Willian down the right-hand side. 13 is Belkovic. And here it comes again. A chance here for a crossing there from Augusto, and it's booked away once more. And here's a chance now for Radovic, and now a chance now for Kravinga. Good strike, but just wide from the right back as he cut inside. In fact, it wasn't him, I think it was the number 7 he shot that one in the end, but this was the chance there that should have been the number 3. Zukovic had the shot, but to no avail. The FIFA delegates there. Panini's sizing up the quarterfinals before we've even kicked a ball in the 3rd group game. Let's hope he's not tempting fate, but I will tempt fate by saying this, and I'll put my neck on the line. The last time Burnley qualified for Europe, 1966, was the time when England actually won the World Cup that summer. And John Kennelly was in the squad, although he didn't get his winner's medal until 2000, I think, in 2011, I think, when the reserves got their medals. Of course, the original winners' medals were for the 11 men that took the field that particular afternoon in 1966 on July the 30th. And they beat Dino Imagine, the then West Germany, 4-2 after extra time. 30 seconds of normal stoppage time to go. And here come Brazil now, 5 times winners. The last time they won it was, of course, in Japan and South Korea in 2002. And here's Neymar now to cap up a great display, but the goalkeeper saves it. He tried to go around the goalkeeper, but the angle was a bit tight. But Brazil with a corner, and showing now, we'll see out the remaining few seconds that will be needed to see them over the line here in Moscow. We've played exactly now the 3 minutes. 2-2 in the other game between Costa Rica and Switzerland. So the whistle goes here in Moscow. Brazil win the group. Wasn't a convincing performance by them by any stretch of the imagination, but Paulinho and Thiago Silva with both goals sends Brazil through as group winners. Serbia will finish 3rd unless there's a big upturn, but Switzerland's result will not matter too much because it's finished here 2-2. But we'll confirm what's been happening in the other game. We'll stay with you for another 5 minutes or so. Brazil didn't half make it tough for themselves, but Neymar didn't have his best performance, so it's all finished there. Sweden will play Switzerland and Brazil will play Mexico. I think that's finished now. I think the game's also finished there. So 2-2 it's finished. So Brazil qualify with 7 points. Switzerland qualify with 5. Serbia and Costa Rica go home. And that's the story in. So Sweden will play Switzerland and Brazil will play Mexico in the last 16. That's the draw from those 2 groups Now, they've been played today, so fantastic performance from the... Well, not a fantastic performance, not legendary by any stretch of the imagination, but Serbia huffed and puffed, but just didn't have the guile or the skill to get over the line in the end. Thank you very much for joining me. I think they're still playing, by the way, but I think they're going to... I think basically we'll stick with it until half-time. I think Panini's trying to say they're still playing. But it is confirmed now that Switzerland will play Sweden regardless of what happens now, because Serbia didn't get the win they needed tonight. But they're still playing over there, so we're just going to check what happens in that one. But I have to say Brazil really fighted as a seed. But they are playing. They're into 5 minutes of time added on, funnily enough, in that game. 2-2. And it's actually finished now full time. I'll give you the goal scorers very quickly. Desmani and Drimic with the goals for Switzerland. Weston and Sommer with an own goal, giving Costa Rica at least a point to take away from this particular World Cup campaign. They're always going to be up against it against that side, and as things stood. So basically now it's Group F. Sweden were top dogs in that group, with Mexico second. And in Group E, of course, Brazil's group. Brazil top with 7 points. Second was Switzerland with 5 points. Serbia finished third and out with 3 points. Costa Rica with 1. But the big news really came in Group F today, because South Korea, coupled with a result for Sweden by 3-0 in their game. But what we saw there at the moment, it was 0-0 for a spell, and it looked as if Germany... At some point we're going to end up sneaking through, but then those goals for Sweden, by then they needed to score Germany, they just couldn't break through, and in the end Kim Jong-won, after 90 plus 2 minutes, a goal that was originally disallowed for offside, but then VAR came to their rescue and decided that the goal was going to be given. And then Sung Young-min with the goal after 6 minutes of stoppage time. They actually played a miraculous 10 minutes. Oh, and that was purely and simply for the VAR. But a great result there. And here's the best of the action here. In fact, so let's give you the best of the action here from... Before we go tonight, let's bring you the commentary from that game, because I think it's worth actually noting what happened there. And here it is. Commentary comes, and the commentary comes from Kevin Gilban and Jonathan Pearce.
Didn't read the flight of the ball particularly well. Goes to catch it, doesn't he? Just a total misread. And Sons, the first one to react for South Korea. And it's actually a good reaction at the end from Manuel Neuer to punch it away.
It's a dangerous cross, and it's not really away, and it's lanced wide by Son, and he'll know how important that chance was. Better build up here by Germany. More central position there. Comes out wide towards Kimmich. Free header should be a goal, and it's a brilliant save to thwart Goretzka. Best we've seen from Germany in the game. Germany create here. The cross ball back. Werner had to score from there.
Really getting a good strike on it. Just can't cut across the ball enough to get it on target.
Kimmich with the cross. Gomez with the header. And Shaw with another important save. Straight at him. There's a left foot bent cross. From the back, Gomez was in the middle, and surely it should have been 1-0. Already had a minute of stoppage time. There will be more added though. Son with it in. Oh, it must be! Germany are heading out! The linesman's flag is up!
Yeah, he's come off. It's only Kroos, and as you say, off Sterling. He's not offside. That should be given. Clear goal.
Yeah, goal! Joachim Löw's World Cup holder
Well, 1938, the last time the Germans did not qualify from the first round. They have fallen out big time. And my goodness, what a decision from VAR, and what a superb decision from VAR to help the Germans on their way out. So, Brazil through. Let's not worry about that. But to all the Germans out there, to Boris Becker, to Michael Schumacher, for all the Germans out there, Jürgen Klinsmann, Michael Schumacher, Rudi Völler, Angela Merkel, Boris Becker, can you hear me? Boris Becker, your boys took one hell of a beating. What a day for World Cup football. Brazil through, but the Germans crash out at the first place for the first time since 1938. Can you believe it? Well, this World Cup, we certainly had a few surprises, and well, for me, the Germans just didn't finish. And I come in their match against Mexico, and I thought they were terribly, terribly disappointing, and they were very, very unfortunate. They were very, very lucky to still be in there. But well, there we go. But thank you very much indeed for listening. Brazil through comfortably in the end against Serbia, but out goes Germany. Just to reiterate your history, Tottenham Hotspur, Hitler was actually Austrian, so he's not actually German, he's Austrian. Just to let you make you aware. But out go Germany, through go Brazil, and through go Switzerland as well. And Switzerland will play the winners of Germany's group, which was Sweden, and the team that finished second in the group as well with Germany, knocking Germany out, was Mexico, and they will play Brazil. So some terrific last 16 games taking shape. But as I say, Germany are on their way home, victims of a real shocker. 2-0 against the South Koreans. But in the game that we covered tonight, Brazil comfortably blue, 2-0 winners over a poor Serbia side. From me, JB, join us tomorrow where Chris Whiteman will bring you full match commentary of England against Belgium. We'll see who tops our group. But as far as tonight's concerned, what a performance, what a game. I'm going to lie down for half an hour because it's really taking it out of me. But thank you very much. Good night to you all, and we'll see you very soon. And I will be back commentating properly on Sunday. So until then, have a lovely evening, and join Chris Whiteman tomorrow for England against Belgium. But for me, have a lovely evening and take care. Bye bye.